Alright guys, welcome to another installment of the Booggie Broadcast. I'm here today to talk a little bit about common conversation. Common conversation at the moment revolves around the prices of beef, Elon Musk, things having to do with Black Lives Matter, riots, protesting, COVID, all these things that I don't realize if we constantly remind ourselves of the significance of all of those things. Those things are astronomically significant to 2020, which, yeah, it's a bilateral kind of symmetry of a number, and if you believe in conspiracies, there's things that line up with numbers and with the way things are going on, and then there's also my calendar, things like that, which supposedly already ended, but apparently we're supposed to be 8 years behind the actual calendar event, so who knows. I do know that it's a strange time to be a white male, to be white in general. It's just a weird time to be white. I mean, I'm not sensitive enough. I'm too sensitive. I don't acknowledge your ancestors' transgressions, but yet again, I don't stand up for my constitutional and civil rights. I'm this, I'm that. I'm confused on why being white is the problem. It's not being white that's the problem. It's racism in itself. So typically what racism is a collective group of people or just an individual's mentality that a race is inferior to another. I believe evolution actually teaches that the Asian race is the superior. And the Bible teaches that all men are created equal. However, there were times where in the Bible it talked to stories where Jews were more superior than the Gentiles, which means you weren't Jewish, you were nothing. It also talks about, Pharaoh kept people as slaves, and, the story goes that they had to escape it from the horrible things that actually took place during their slavery. I just don't understand why it's the white man's fault racism exists. I understand a lot of white people suck. It's true. I mean, what that cop did to George Floyd was wrong, and he is a murderer. He killed that man, whether it's on accident or not. They don't teach you that move in the police academy. He did wrong. But what did I do wrong? I didn't do anything to you. And I'm also not a part of the problem. One, I'm not even a police officer. I'm a white male. Does that make me wrong? I didn't choose his skin color. I didn't choose where I was born. As a matter of fact, you don't know all white people. Just like you don't know all black people. You don't know all Asian people. You don't know all German people. That German, he may have an accent, but does that make him a Nazi? It shouldn't. But to some people it does. I mean, I grew up in a trailer park. Nothing. Worked my way up in life. I had the best parents in the world, though. I turned out to be a halfway decent human. And growing up, my mom and dad taught me that, hey, people live different lifestyles. Some people may seem like they're more important, but they're not, because we're all human. And son, I want you to treat everybody like they're a human being. This black gentleman who shows up in his caprice wanting my dad to paint it candy apple red taught me that man is a man and a human being. You need to treat him as such. He's just like us. There's no difference. Just skin color. And as a kid, you look at it like, why are they that color? Or why do they talk this way? Or why are their eyes like that? It's a child's perspective is very pure because their intentions are pure on the questions that they have. So my dad taught me that that's just the variety of human beings out there is what makes things so interesting. And it's not a bad thing to grow up the way you grew up because you can learn through things. But I grew up around that kind of stuff. I grew up around drug dealers paying cash for paint jobs. I grew up around shady people in a trailer park and in adjacent neighborhoods and things like that. And one thing I've noticed is if you were blind and someone committed a crime, they're still a criminal. Why does the skin color have to do with any of that? I mean, it shouldn't, and it doesn't to me, but there are a lot of white people where that does matter. And so, that being said, I don't understand why it's wrong for some African Americans and Asian Americans, Asian African Americans, Michael Yo, shout out to him. It's unusual now for a white male to be accepted in very cultural advanced circles. It's almost as if we're not cultural enough to be a part of things. And I like what Morgan Freeman said about racism. How do you stop racism? You stop talking about it. I don't think he meant stop advocating that racism is bad. I think he meant stop talking about the negative things in it. So, maybe what I said was negative. That's true. Maybe what I said was negative. But my heart is pure in this situation. I have plenty of black friends and Asian friends. Why should I keep count of how many different cultural ethnicity friends that I have? Why should I keep count? If someone came up to me and asked me, how many black friends do you have? Why should I keep count? Tell me the tangible reason why I should keep count and why it pays so much merit to that you know that information. Who cares how many black friends I have? I don't keep track of it because in my head it's not about numbers. It's about being a human being, being a nice person. I think that's where we fail at everything, is being kind, being compassionate. Why do we fail so much? It's not my job to be Mr. Nice Guy, but maybe it's not that big of a deal if I'm just Mr. Nice Guy all the time. Is it really that hard? Let me think about it. No, it's not that hard to be nice. Yes, sir. Thank you. Let me get this door for you. You first. No, allow me. Hello, my name is Seth. Simple, nice, kind gestures. Doesn't matter if I'm a different color than you, or I'm grown up in a different area. You don't know my life? We didn't grow up very well, but I had a good family, so I wound up being a good person. Like I said before, I hope I am. But I think we just care so much about the stupid stuff. We care so much about it. It makes me frustrated because, I have a friend of mine, and he's black, and he's a very, very spiritual person as far as understanding the way that the world works and acceptance and things like that. And it's like, I don't really have interest in discussing black culture with him because he's a friend. I can't see what the media is letting people know what people are like. Because to me, that's just your story you wrote. That's your story. That's not the truth. That's your story. Every news station is their own story. It's not the truth. The truth can only be proven by being there in person and seeing what happened, or watching a video or whatever. You don't know the truth unless you've seen it. You don't know the truth unless you see it. That's the truth. So our friendship is not based off of explaining why white guys do this or why black guys do that, or how come the Wu-Tang Clan is not as cool to you as Cool G Rap or as, Pac or Biggie. It doesn't matter. I like Nas, you like Nas, we can agree on that. I like Wu-Tang, you like Biggie. Why do we have to talk about things that you are familiar with or things that are culturally appropriate to talk to you about? People do come up to me and some people have an African American lady that I know who runs a hotel, and we talked about this. I was like, why does it matter? She said it doesn't. We let it matter. It shouldn't be a thing in 2020. This wasn't supposed to be about all that. This was just supposed to be, I don't even forgot what I was talking about. I mean, let me look back at my notes so I write stuff down. I mean, this is supposed to be about people complaining about food cost. I mean, literally, that's what's on my thing. Which beef, by the way, is supposed to go down, just so everybody knows, and hopefully that makes to fruition. But man alive, I don't know of any other conflicted thing in this world besides racism that people are so adamant about and so passionate about. It's not bad to be passionate about something. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is to understand racism is the wrong path. Don't try to understand it. Avoid it at all costs. At all costs. Avoid it. Do what you can to be better at handling situations when they arise, because it's going to happen. Someone's going to call you a whitey this or a blackie that. Handle it with kindness, with compassion, with understanding. One thing someone said to beat yourself out of an argument is to give a compliment. Hey, whitey, why you cut me in line? Oh, man, I'm sorry. I just didn't want to step on your really nice kicks you got on, man. Yeah, those look good. I don't know, something like that. I don't even know what I'm saying. I don't know what I'm saying half the time. I'm just talking. But something about communicating out in the open and getting things out there in the universe, that does something. Prayer, meditation, vocalization, videos like this stupid podcast. I freaking love doing this thing. But it doesn't mean that it's a very healing thing for me to do, yes. And not to get emotional, but I think that self-betterment is more important than I ever thought. And you should be doing things that you love. You should only be doing things that you love. And that's just the facts. I mean, we just need to be better at being people. We need to be better at being people. And it's not that hard. It's just not. We really need to learn to appreciate our environment that's given to us, because someone always has it worse. And you never know, one day your handshake, hug, or compliment might fix that person's worse into better, and they may live another day. They may live another day. Be kind, be courteous, be nice, be a human being. Love's the answer. Love is just the answer, period. I think everyone needs to reevaluate their social status and realize you're not that important. So there's no reason to be ugly, mean, or disrespectful to another human being. Unless they threaten someone that you love. In which case, it depends on the situation and depends on the person. There might need to be something you might need to take care of. You might need to knock somebody out. Or you might just need to turn the other cheek and just walk away. Hard thing to do, but it's possible. I don't know what I'm ranting about. I just know that I like doing podcasts, so I'm just going to keep talking. Thanks for listening, guys. And it's been another short one, but it's been a good one. I appreciate all of you. I love everybody. If you haven't heard today, hey, I love you. You're a good person. You're good to other people. You're compassionate. You're outgoing. That's the kind of person I can get with. If you got any other questions or anything you guys want to talk about, I'm thinking about trying out some new methods, and this is one of them, so I just appreciate everybody. Thanks for being here. It's another episode of the Booggie Broadcast. Thanks, guys.